Hey everyone, it's your favorite brain, Dr. Teacher. We got an exciting show for you. We have another episode of Picking Brains, the show where we bring back your favorite Everything Now experts to discuss topics, answer any questions you have, and provide a little bit more insight in the world's problems. So without further ado, please put on your thinking caps and your smart socks and get ready to learn.
Hello. Hi guys. You might remember me. I'm Barney. Barney Walters. I'm a Disney animatronics guy. I'm an expert on animatronics. You might remember me from the last time I visited this fine place.
Oh, yeah. What? Oh, yeah.
Oh. I mean, yeah. I guess that's not the most substantive clip from my. I did a long presentation about the entire history of animatronics, but
Well, it's my turn. Hi everyone. I am Dr. Denny Fontune, creator and founder of the Denny's Chain, the system to make all of your moments the most dramatic. I think there was a clip arranged for me as well.
Oh, sweet victory! Oh, at last, yes!
Well, I mean, that doesn't really cover all of it.
Oh, hey, yeah. I'm Paul Brutal. I'm a NeoNutritionist by trade, so I'm not a doctor.
I don't think you're.
Hey, there we go. Now they can hear me. I'm Paul Brutal. I'm a NeoNutritionist. You can see that on my little title card there. So just the fact that they happen to be made in an undisclosed factory in Taiwan doesn't necessarily mean they're not natural, because that factory in Taiwan is a part of our natural world. Yeah, okay. So that was a little segment of the last time I was on the show. I was talking about supplements, where I like to get my supplements. I'm a nutritionist, so we're going to get into that, I'm sure, later on in the episode. But thank you for having me. I'm very glad to be back,
we're excited.
Dr. Teacher, wherever you are.
Wherever you are, and there's just darkness
Yeah, we
above.
were just told to show up here.
Yeah, we
We
weren't.
just met.
But we're here for any of your questions. So please, if you're in the chat, hello. Yeah, I don't know what's next or what. Brain food. Brain food. Brain. Yeah.
Okay.
Brain food. This was in the email.
Oh, right.
I think we're supposed to fuel up our brains right now for you all so we can have a good talk today. And they didn't. I mean, there's just this plate of bananas sitting here, so I think that's probably what we're supposed to be doing.
Yeah. I'm
I'll do the honors, I guess.
very green.
I don't eat bananas. I don't really eat any fruit except, well, I eat the fruit flavoring that's in Nerd's Rope. But my diet is actually comprised of elements of the food decagon, which, if you were watching the health episode from last week or a few weeks ago, I sort of explained how I have a different system of nutrition that's sort of counterintuitive and sort of goes against what we learned about the food pyramid. If you remember the food pyramid.
Wow.
So bananas, unfortunately, that they don't really compute with my system. You know, I've got a system that comprised of mainly Nerds Rope, hot dog, assorted nuts, Frank's Red Hot hot sauce, and supplements mainly are the main things, and beans. So those are the things that I eat that I enjoy. But you're welcome to partake. I'm glad that the bananas aren't going to waste.
Are we, like, in your mind, are we hurting ourselves by having these standards right here?
Well, you know, there's research on both sides, and you know, I don't want to pretend like I've read every study. You know, I've read some things.
Probably more than me.
What happens when you gobble a nanner?
What happens when you gobble a nana? Okay.
No, what happens when you personally?
Oh,
like what would happen
me?
to your body right now?
Oh God, it's just a mess, you know, down there for days sometimes if I eat a banana or really my body has become so accustomed to only eating Nerds Rope, assorted nuts, hot sauce, beans, and the things on the food decagon that if I put any other type of food in my body, it automatically rejects it in the form of excrements and sort of things coming out of my orifices, basically.
Wow, that's like me if I eat too much string cheese, like in a day.
Okay,
and
sure.
yet I do it anyway, let me tell you.
You eat a lot of string cheese?
It's like a good on-the-go snack. Like for me, I think I said I work with Animatronics. When you're in the shop and you don't want to like get all into a meal that you have to cook and put on a plate, and you sit down all fancy with a napkin and all that. String cheese is great to just kind of tear or bite off, kind of gnaw off. I think bananas too, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
So sorry about. I don't think I can give those up.
Hey, you know, everybody's welcome to find their own diet solution that works for them. Me personally, I've got the decagon, but you know.
What are you putting in your body?
I love noodles. Usually with no sauce.
Oh.
Okay. That's kind of like a Nerds Rope.
Fresh out of the pot.
That's exactly how I eat them. Fresh out of the pot. I put them in a strainer, straight to, it's kind of like half a face mask, but also you get to eat the material off your face.
Wait, so it goes on your face and then you kind of slurp it off?
Yeah, you might notice that my skin is very pristine. It is because I take a hot noodle face bath for dinner. And
You should tell all those like influencers about that.
I actually, I've been trying to boost my Instagram. I only have 37 followers, so if you like, it's at the Denny's chain.
Check it
you can
out.
follow me, and yeah. But these bananas kind of look like noodles, so I was instantly appetized.
Great. All right, I think we filled up, right?
Yeah.
So I guess next we're gonna do a little icebreaker or something.
Oh yeah.
Is that what the?
Yes, the ice.
Oh wow.
Oh wow,
Right.
that was
Wow.
graphic.
That was.
Okay, so I read about this pod in the email. Basically, this pod is they want us to do like an icebreaker to get to
Yeah.
know each other a little bit better.
I think
We
that's-
spent a little bit of time in the green room before coming out here, but this is a way for us to sort of let each other know and let you know at home a little bit more about ourselves and sort of what makes Paul Brutal, for example.
And what makes Barney the Birdman the Birdman?
Right. So I actually
Here he comes. And we don't know each other really, so
No,
this is pretty
not
helpful
really.
for us. We just met.
welcome back.
Thank you.
So I've actually prepared some here. We're gonna play a game, a little game called Two Truths and a Lie.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
so
yes.
you are familiar with how
yeah,
two truths
there's
and a
like
lie
a
works?
camp game. I
Okay.
send my kids to those camps, those away camps. They always come back and they're like, I was winning. I had 2 truths and a lie. My boys.
I've never been to camp. So here we go. And you at the audience at home in the chat, if you want to listen to my truths and lies and try to identify which one is a lie, because I'm gonna say 3 facts about myself, and one of them is gonna be the lie, right?
So
Yeah,
so it wouldn't be 3 facts.
It would be 2 facts
And a lie.
and 1
fabrication.
opinion.
fake.
One fabrication.
1 fake fact.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
Excellent. Okay.
All right, so yeah. Say if you think you know what the lie is, we're going to try and guess.
Yeah, please, at home, try to identify what you think is not true about me, Paul Brutal.
All right.
Okay.
I'm going to put my thinking cap on.
Okay. Fact or not fact, number 1. I own 2 separate timeshares that are across the street from each other in Hilton Head, North Carolina. In North Carolina, Hilton Head, I have 2 separate timeshares
Wow, good.
under the
If
Paul
that's
Brutal
true,
name,
I mean,
and they're right across the street from each other.
if that's true,
That's
cool.
that's 1.
That's
That
impressive.
might be true.
Good to own property.
Might not be true. I don't know. Number 2, a little bit about me. In 9th grade, I was voted most likely to become a car salesman.
Oh. Did that go in the yearbook and ever? Well, I guess you.
Maybe
it
so, maybe
did.
not. Maybe so, maybe that's true.
Oh, okay.
Could be a lie.
These both feel pretty spot on.
In
so
9th
far.
grade, I was voted most likely to be a car salesman. Allegedly, maybe. And now for my 3rd potential fact,
Okay.
I've traveled to every English-speaking country in the world. All of the English-speaking countries in the world, I've been personally, I've stepped foot in all those countries. So those are my 3 facts.
Okay. Now we have to think.
And if you at home have any guesses as to which of those facts is the false fact, please type them out in the chat. We'd love to hear your guesses at home.
Yeah, if you get it right, I think we can figure out some sort of
we can give you.
prize.
Yeah, we can give you a prize.
There's a prize involved if you're able to guess correctly. Once again, those facts were I was voted most likely to be a car salesman in 9th grade by my peers. I own 2 separate timeshares in Hilton Head, North Carolina. They are across the street from one another. And then I've traveled to every single English-speaking country in the world. Every English-speaking nation I have visited at one point or another over my illustrious career. So those are my 3 facts.
Great. Well, I'm gonna take a stab at it.
Yeah, I've got some thoughts. I'm wondering if we're on the same page here.
Yeah. Should we have a side huddle to determine if just that's good. No, that will work. Yeah.
So,
Bananas actually absorb a lot of sound.
so I'm thinking.
Yeah. Oh, I'm gonna hold
I'll
this.
plug my ears.
Yeah, you can plug your. It seems unlikely that he's been to every English-speaking nation.
I was thinking that too. He doesn't look like he can travel very well.
Yeah, he looks like he'd get stopped for sure. Like,
All the time.
security.
Not even by like officials,
Yeah,
but like
not
people on the
even-
street.
Not even in a way where it's like that's profiling. It's just like you should
Yeah.
stop that guy.
It's like, who are you?
It's like, yeah. So that's my guess. And
Okay.
also, for sure, he gives off a car salesman vibe,
Mm-hmm.
which I think is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Selling cars, that's cool. But
But-
I could see him. I could see that. If I was a kid, I know I'd vote for him for that.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't buy a car from him, but
But I believe that he would sell me one.
I would buy a motorcycle for sure.
I think, yeah, motorcycle and maybe like one of those like souped up scooters.
Yeah.
That has lights,
Yep.
or maybe like one of those mini cars.
Yes. Okay, well let's go with
The other fact, just for fairs.
he owned 2
Okay.
different types of property.
They were right across the street from each other.
Yeah.
I mean, that could be true or false, but the other one feels a lot more false to me.
Yeah, let's go with
Alright.
English speaking countries.
Okay. The bananas are down.
All right, you can remove.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
You
doing
can-
such a good job.
That was great.
Okay, we think
You
we have our
feel
answer.
like you're ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay. And once again, chat at home, don't be shy. If you have a guess, or if you just want to say anything at all, if you have
Just say
opinions
hi.
about anything that we're saying here, you just want to say hello, we will say your name and whatever you say in the chat, no matter what it is. We
That's
will
a lot
say
of
it.
power.
I will scream it.
Oh.
What in the
Who
world
will-
have I stumbled
who
upon?
will
Hello,
Oh,
assless chaps.
Assless chaps, welcome to the program.
Well, real quick, do you want to review in case Assless
Sure.
Chaps
So
just
assless chaps, if you're just joining us now, this is a talk show panel where 3 experts discuss different topics. Right now, we're in an icebreaker segment.
Because we don't know each other. We just
so
met.
we're learning about each other, and I just shared 3 statements, one of which is a lie and 2 of which are true. And so it's up to my compatriots here on the panel to guess which of the statements is a lie. So once again, just to remind everybody, my 3 statements were I was voted most likely to become a car salesman by my peers in 9th grade. I own, I suppose I own partially 2 timeshares, both of which are in Hilton Head, North Carolina, and both of which are on the same street, across the street from one another. And the third one is I've traveled to every English-speaking country in the world. So those are the 3 facts, and it's up to you to decide which one is false.
All right. I feel the power of this brain food coursing through me. I think me and Mr. Fontune here have a pretty good guess. So do you want to lay it on him?
We do not believe that you traveled to every English-speaking country.
Wow. You pinned it perfectly.
And so does
So
Team
does
Russell.
Wow, and Team Russell,
What'd you get?
congratulations.
Hey!
You guys are correct. Unfortunately, I have not been able to travel. There's actually been a little bit of bureaucratic red tape involved in Scotland, for example. I'm no longer actually allowed into Scotland because of some differences in our opinions on nutrition. They've classified me as a nutritional terrorist, which I
my.
felt like was extreme language. But
didn't
they
even-
seem...
I didn't know that language existed at all.
and neither did I. And to be honest, I feel like it's sort of a Scottish thing. But the Scots have classified me as a nutritional terrorist, and therefore I'm no longer allowed in any part of the United Kingdom. And so, unfortunately, Brits, I'm trying to get over there. As soon as the Scotland Yard clears my visa, I'm going to be bringing the food decagon over to you guys. Really excited about that. But unfortunately, I'm not able to do that. But congratulations, you guys were spot on.
Well, and Team Russell
and
as
Team
well.
Russell.
Great
So I
job,
think,
Team Russell.
I think they won. All we really have are these bananas. We
Yeah.
can,
We'll write Team Russell.
And that's I can't read who typed it, but it says Scotch taper sucks.
It was Team Ajan.
Team Ajan, yeah. 100% agree. But you can't win every battle, so I'm just trying to win the war. And that's getting green screened out.
Hold
so
on.
It's kind
Hold
of
on. Try. How about this angle?
oh,
Perfect. It
Yeah.
says Team Russell.
Team Russell. So congratulations, Team Russell.
Yeah.
The
We'll do
banana.
the Everything Now mailing system.
Excellent. Okay.
Let us know when you get it.
So that should be on its way to you, Team Russell. Yeah, give us a shout out when that banana reaches you for your victory in this round of icebreakers.
all right. So I guess next up, right?
Next up, yes, who
We've
has
learned,
some facts?
We've learned two things about you, but
I'll go.
great.
Team Aijan says, "Peel that nanner, do it. I dare you." Team Aijan, don't worry. It seems that there's multiple segments in the show where people will be eating bananas. So if you stick around, I'm sure you'll be able to see another nanner peeled, and that dare will be satisfied. So,
I'm working
so
on that
stay here,
first one.
stay tuned in.
Hello.
Oh,
yeah.
I'm hearing you.
We're good.
All right, let's do another 2 truths and a lie. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm ready to do some guessing on my part.
I will go.
Oh, great.
So these will be the 3 statements. Statement 1. My father was murdered when I was 12 years old.
I feel like
Statement number 2.
Wow, how do you
I purchased the guns that my father was murdered from the man who shot him. when I was 23 years old.
Just real quick, but I don't want to interrupt you, but we got a comment from Team Russell. A brick that does not have my name on it just went through my kitchen window. Was that you guys too?
No. Right?
I don't think we're liable for whatever Amazon does to deliver packages.
It could have been Amazon. It might have been us. I'm not totally sure.
That's true. I'm not entirely sure on how if the banana didn't get to you, I'm sorry, but maybe that's like a sort of a warning. Like, here comes the banana. I'm not sure how the...
Yeah. Oh, there's,
Okay,
there's a second
The
brick.
second brick probably was us, because if it was 2 bricks,
That feels intentional.
that seems like it was
That
on
feels
purpose.
intentional.
So if you got 2 bricks through the window, yeah, that seems like a pattern is being established. I wouldn't worry.
I would worry by tomorrow if you haven't gotten a banana.
Can't have Amazon. My house uses a computer.
I'll find
My
it.
mom uses a
I
computer.
found a child on my...
Child on my doorstep and named him everything now.
Oh, that's,
okay.
That's
The
great.
banana. Okay, and here's the banana.
Hey,
Excellent.
you got the
Okay,
banana.
and so everything's working out.
Enjoy your 2 bricks, your kid, and your banana.
Very
Right.
good. All right, so just to rewind, recap
Anyway,
real
yeah,
quick.
let me recap those first 2 statements. Statement number 1, my father was murdered when I was 12 years old.
Okay.
Statement number 2, I purchased the guns that my father was shot with by the man who shot him when I was 23. Statement 3, my favorite dish from Denny's is the Grand Slam.
Okay. So can we confer here a little bit?
Yeah, let's put up the
If you wouldn't mind
shield.
plugging your ears while we...
We're gonna put up the banana shield.
All right. So we have to pick one of these to be the lie, right? And,
Okay, these are... Is it just me or are these a little dark?
it does seem like, yeah, it seemed like 2 of the facts were based on the murder of his father, which to me felt
Which,
kind of dark.
it feels dark, but also the fact that 2 of them are based on...
That's
that
what I'm thinking, is
means
that those are linked.
Those have got to be both
Those are
true,
probably
right?
true. So, I mean, but to be fair, the Denny's Grand Slam is really delicious, and if that's a lie, I would be
You can't still eat
surprised.
that, I'm guessing.
No, I used to be able to eat that back in the day. You know, I still get these cravings for these things since I went to the food
We'll tell you
decagon.
what, but next time I go, I'll have 2 and one's for you.
Okay, all right.
But I think we're on the same page.
I think so.
It's got to be, although I mean...
Your
what else
dad,
could be-
your dad died slipping on a banana peel. Al. Oh, I didn't catch the name of that commenter.
It was T. Maijan.
Timajan. I don't know who Al is.
But Denny's...
But Denny's dad, it sounds like, was murdered.
well, I guess we're about to find
By
out.
some guns. That's my thought. It seems like that's your thought too.
All
So
right,
we're gonna
let's
go ahead
in.
I think.
If anyone has any guesses, now's the time to throw them out.
Welcome back, Denny.
Thank you.
We've had a conversation here, and if you want to just run us through your facts one more time, so that the chat has a chance. To
I can
guess
do that.
before we tell you our answer.
Statement number 1, my father was murdered when I was 12 years old. Statement number 2, I purchased the guns that shot my father from the man who shot my father when I was 23 years old.
Wait,
State-
hold on, just to real quick, because in the first fact you said you were 12 years old, and then in the second fact you said you were you
Oh, so you're
purchased a
saying
gun.
He bought them many
when you were
years
20.
later.
Okay,
Or
I see what
maybe
you're
he
saying.
didn't.
So
I'm
11 years later,
Yes,
allegedly, is when you purchased the gun from the killer of your father.
correct.
Okay.
Statement number 3, the Grand Slam is my favorite dish at Denny's.
Okay, so we talked it over.
Team Russell has a thought real quick. How could he know that they were the same guns? That's a good point, Team Russell. I'm
Well,
actually...
I think we have to.
There
know
is
which
a
one
registration
true.
number on every firearm.
Okay. Oh,
Tom Ijan. I thought it was Team Ijan for this whole time. My vote is the second one. Okay, so it seems like the chat is thinking that it's the second fact, that he purchased the guns from the man who killed his father 11 years
11
later.
years later. Now, the people at the table here. I mean, first of all, I just want to get it out there that ideally facts 1 and 2 would be false in a perfect world, because those don't sound very good for you. But I think we talked it over, and we think that it's number 3.
Yeah, our guess over on this side is going to be the third fact, that the fact about the Denny's Grand Slam.
because the first 2 seem linked.
Okay. Statement number 1 is true.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
I'm
My
so
father
sorry.
was murdered when I was 12 years old.
My condolences.
Yes.
I am a dad, and I understand.
Statement number 3. The Grand Slam from Denny's is my favorite dish. Is true.
Oh,
I love the Grand Slam.
Oh,
whoa.
well. Color me surprised.
Statement number 2. When I was 23 years old, I purchased the guns that killed my father by the man who killed my father is false. I purchased the guns from his father,
Oh.
for his son had died in an unfortunate accident that was not related to me or anyone else.
Wait, so the person who killed your father, you purchased the guns that he used to kill your father from that guy's father?
Yes.
Okay. Whoa.
Maybe we should.
So who won that round from the chat? Tom.
right?
Oh,
Tom
okay.
and-
Tom is
Tom
the big winner.
and Russell. But
Okay.
I guess we already gave one to Team
Yeah,
Russell.
Team Russell
so-
already won a prize, so it looks like this prize is going to be going to Tom. What did he do with the guns is asking Team Russell, and then do you still have the guns is a follow-up question from Tom.
I still have the guns.
And that's your banana, Tom. So that's going to be
Good
coming
get.
your way. And here it goes. Okay, and it should be on its way. There may be a couple of bricks that are coming before it. It sounded like Team Russell had an experience where there were a couple of bricks.
You're doing good. Oh, you just gotta.
Yeah,
You gotta just kick it in a bit.
give it a kick.
Just like that, and you just wow. Perfect.
Excellent.
There's really been a lot of bricks, says Team Russell.
Sorry about that.
I don't think that's related to our delivery, but if it is,
Yeah, it's sounding more and more like a barrage of bricks.
did the banana come through the same window that the bricks did? Tom said it was very fast. You got the banana. Oh, it's in
Oh,
his
Tom,
hand.
excellent. Okay.
Tell us how it tastes, buddy.
He's got it.
Are you peeling?
That's great. I'm very excited that the delivery system is working out. I think we should move on to the final round of our icebreakers.
Okay.
Same window, many other. Okay.
All right. I have my 3 facts or maybe fiction, depending on what you think. All right. So here's statement number 1. This could be true or false. I already kind of mentioned that I'm an engineer of sorts. So statement number 1 is that I did a modification to the mini fridge in my man cave, where I took off the front door and I replaced it with like a clear glass, so that anytime anyone comes in, they could see all the assorted Powerade colors that I have, and they could just see it right when they walk in. So that's number 1, that I modded my mini fridge in my man cave. Number 2 is, as I mentioned already, I do work for Disney and I do the animatronics at the park. So at one point, my friends and I were working on the Pirates ride, doing some routine maintenance, and they kind of convinced me to write property of Barney on the lower back of one of the pirate wenches. And then I immediately felt so bad about it that I vomited into the little canal, and they had to shut down the ride for the rest of the day. So that's number 2. And number 3 is that my wife and I sleep in 2 separate beds. So that's the third one. And who knows which one's true and which one is a lie.
Wow. Okay. Those are some interesting potential facts. Honestly, this is the toughest one I think we've had so far tonight.
Let me recap real quick before I plug my ears. So that's
Yes.
number 1, mini fridge modification to show off my Powerade. Number 2, I did a little tramp stamp on a pirate wench in the Pirates ride, and then I felt really bad, threw up, and they closed the ride for a long time while they cycled out my vomit. And then number 3, me and my wife sleep in 2 separate beds.
Great.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, let me grab a way so we can see the chat a little better.
All right. I'm gonna I can't hear now.
All right, I'm going to just sort of pontificate, maybe with the chat. You guys can help me. It sounded like in the chat, you guys were thinking it might be number 1 is the fake news, or number 3 might be the lie. Number 1, I don't know, a modification to a refrigerator. Barney's a smart guy. He's an animatronic expert. So that makes me feel like he could do that. Like, that would be pretty easy for him. Oh, here we go. Now we got the chat here. This is great. This will make things a lot easier for us. Great. So what do we got here?
What'd you come up with?
So we're trying to decide. It seems like the chat seems to think that Barney has sex with his wife a lot, so that might mean that the third one is a lie.
Okay.
Because they might be sharing the same bed.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking it's probably either 2 or 3, because I believe that he could easily modify his refrigerator. That seems like it's easily in the realm of possibility. The other one with the tramp stamp and the puking into the canal. I don't know.
I think that number 2 is the false one, because I believe that the amount of vomit that it would take to completely shut down a ride into liquid would need to be a substantial amount.
That's a good point. Yeah. I haven't ever been to Disney where they shut down a ride because of puke. Usually, I feel like they just kind of go with it. But I'm actually not allowed into Disney anymore due to some differences in opinion. But that's how it was, at least in 1993 when I was there last.
Great. Well, I guess we can reveal.
Okay. Wow, those bananas really do work. I couldn't hear a thing.
And we got some comments from the chat here. Tom is saying Universal all the way. Not sure what that means.
Oh, are you saying versus Disney?
Compared to
or
Disneyland.
like you love the universe.
All right, well, let me just address that. Though I do work for Disney, I'm a man who makes animatronics, and there's very talented artists over at Universal making, things like The Mummy, the Jurassic Park ride. I've honestly worked on a couple of those myself in the past, so no hard feelings against Universal. What I don't like, though, is the motion rides that they have, the Simpsons and the Transformers, and they previously, though I love Back to the Future, I don't like a ride that's just a video.
Oh, well, Tom says the Simpsons ride made his dad puke on his mom, which makes me feel like the puking fact. Well, we already decided.
Okay.
I don't want to go back and second guess
Do we
myself.
have guesses from the chat?
I've never been on a ride with my dad.
Right, because he was,
Right. Oh, my gosh.
when you were 12, he was murdered.
I got to pass. I can get people in. What? I think we should go.
I would like to go on the Wet Mountain.
Oh, Splash Mountain.
Yes.
That one's great. That's got some animatronics in there. I can tell you all about it.
Great.
There's one bear that's hanging upside down. And
Okay, so the
I'll
chat,
talk
just
later.
so that we're sure, they're guessing that the first fact is
Fridge?
the lie. The mini fridge, or the regular size fridge?
Mini fridge.
Mini fridge.
Mini fridge man cave.
They're guessing that is the lie. Now, we here on the panel, we're of the opinion that the second fact about the puking into the canal, that is the lie. So,
Okay. Well, let me dispel some hearsay. Fact number 1, that I modded my mini fridge is true.
oh,
I did mod my mini fridge because I like to have kind of like an aesthetic assortment of colors of my Powerade, and I felt like it was wasted with the door closed. And now when anyone pulls back the curtain on my man cave and comes in and takes a look, they can see. So that's true. Number 2, the fact that I put a little tramp stamp, I guess they call it, on a pyro winch, that is also true.
Wow.
I did
Whoa.
do that.
Oh,
it was
gosh.
peer pressure. I know. It was peer pressure from a couple of the guys at Disney, and I didn't want to do it, but they were like, Barney, prove that you have balls. And I was like, okay. because I wanted to prove that. And but then I felt really bad about it because I started thinking about what like a young kid coming to Disneyland who like wants a female role model would say. And so I puked into the canal, and it was a lot, and the water was running, so it just ran down the canal. They were kind of cycling the water at the time, so it just shot down the canal, and they were kind of chasing after it, trying to get it out with like one of those pool nets. And then they realized, just let it go, just let it cycle through a couple times, and we'll just have to shut down the ride.
Wow.
So that's true.
Wow.
Not my brightest moment. And that means the fact that we sleep in 2 beds, me and my wife, must be
False.
False.
The reality is that me and my wife don't sleep in separate beds. She sleeps in our bed, and I sleep on the couch.
Oh.
So not 2 separate beds, but a bed and a couch.
Well, it looks like nobody from the chat or from the panel got the correct one on that one.
Group high five.
Yep. So
Group high five. Yeah. Yes.
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 I stumped him. I guess
So that was a
means-
stumper.
That means a banana for me.
Stumper.
Maybe I could just like wear it, like sunglasses, Dad.
Yes. I noticed another question came up in the chat that was asked. How did I know the serial number of the guns that murdered my father? So I would like to address that now. When my father was murdered when I was 12 years old, the murderer was right next to me. After he shot my father, he took the barrels of the guns and the side stock and burnt it.
Oh, you want to use a banana?
Yeah. And he burnt it right on the side of my neck with both of them. So, like, let's say that these 2 bananas are guns. Stick them up. You can be my dad.
Okay.
So you say, please don't hurt my son.
Please don't hurt my son.
And then you turn to me and you're like, son, I love you so much.
Wait, I turn to you, the gunman?
Oh,
No,
so
you would
say
be
I'm
over here.
Okay,
Be
wait,
me.
let's
let me go
okay,
over there.
I'll be your dad and you be here. Okay. Should we?
Okay, I'm
Okay.
I'm Denny.
And I'm
Yes.
Denny's dad. And Denny is the gunman who killed Denny's father.
Yes.
Great.
Here, let's get this so you can see the guns.
Okay. All right.
Jack Schirkenback is his name. I'm Jack Schirkenback.
Okay. And I'm Denny's father.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm Denny.
Please don't shoot. I'm Denny's father. And don't shoot me, please.
I am Denny. I hope my dad doesn't die today, and I'm 12.
I have no control over myself. I am a beast. I am so filled with anger every day. And I don't know you, and I don't know your son, but this is the only way for me to release that anger. Because there is not a network where I can share my feelings across some sort of web-like system.
Don't do it.
Boom, boom.
Oh,
And now I'm dying. And now
now-
I'm
Now
dying.
you're dying.
and now your dad.
Yeah, and you're
is
like,
dying.
no, Dad,
Don't.
you're dead.
Oh no.
And then you
That's
turn
the
to
end
me.
of that.
Yeah, you turn to me and you're like, how could you?
How could you do that? To me, Denny, 12-year-old.
And then he burns
Oh.
the serial numbers into the sides of my neck.
Oh.
Do not touch
Okay, I just.
my
Sorry.
do not touch my turtleneck.
Okay. I'm Denny, and now I'm burned.
And you scream.
Ah!
You scream why?
Why?
Louder.
Why?
Thank you. You can get up now, Paul.
Okay. I think.
And that is how I know the serial numbers from the guns that
Okay, so
My
that
father.
clears up that pretty
I think
much.
That answered a lot of
That answers a lot. So I hope that is helpful for you at home. Team Russell, I think you were the one who answered that question. I also noticed in the chat earlier, Fever Woman. Welcome to the show.
Welcome.
Fever Woman earlier said, "Hi everyone, I'm sorry I'm late. My son flooded the whole house with a clogged toilet." So we're sorry to hear that. But thanks for tuning in. We're glad that the toilet situation is at least calmed down enough for you to tune in. And we're excited for the rest of the show. So
I know
welcome.
I know how that goes, Fever Woman. I got 3 boys, 2 identical, 1 not.
Do they ever flood the toilet?
Yeah. Yeah. We have a lot of string cheese in our house, so yeah. Okay, I guess we should probably get on to the next thing now that we've gotten to know each other pretty well.
Yeah, I know all of you like family.
Oh.
I feel
We're
like
definitely going to Disneyland.
I'd like that. I like to ride the wet mountain.
Oh, we will ride the wet mountain. All right, so I guess this next thing, if we all...
Oh, we got a quick question. What are your boys' names?
My boys' names? Oh, yeah. There's Jimmy. That's one of the identical ones. And then Timmy. That's one of the other of the 2 identical ones. And then Ralph is the 3rd one. Jimmy, Timmy, and Ralph.
Nice.
Oh, and the Fever Woman has some children as well.
I guess we didn't know who was being asked. Maybe it was me. Maybe it was Fever Woman. Now you know.
I like that you
Timmy,
both
now.
answered the question. The names are Sebastian, Atticus, and Pilf.
And you want to know something funny about? We did a little bit with my sons. So their names are Jimmy, Timmy, and Ralph. But then Jimmy's middle name is Ralph. Timmy's middle name is Jimmy. And the last one's for Ralph.
Oh, okay.
Ralph is Timmy, I think.
I can't even begin to wrap my mind around that concept.
Yeah, so it's Timmy, Jimmy, Jimmy, Ralph, and Ralph, Timmy.
Wow,
That's
that is a funny joke. That is...
No one ever asks about it, and it's so disappointing.
I can't imagine why no one would ask about that. So it looks like we have another segment coming up.
Ooh. Ah. Ooh. Ah.
Oh,
okay.
What's in your mind?
What's in your mind?
Oh, real quick. Fever Woman says we should have a 6 boys play date. 2 of my sons are bedridden. I mean, that sounds great. I do want to point out that my boys are all grown. Maybe I look baby face, but I'm a little older in years. So my boys are grown. I don't know how old your kids are. I'm sure they'd still love to.
Anybody
around.
can have a play date.
Yeah, and especially I think there was something about one of them being bedridden. But that's no problem. My kids will play video games and seated games. Well, let me know.
Great.
Great. What's this next segment? What's in your mind?
What's in your mind? I believe it's an audience-based.
Advice kind of thing.
Yeah, giving advice to the fans of Everything Now.
Oh, great. So the people at home can learn a little bit from our knowledge as
Yeah.
experts.
Yep.
Yeah, because I mean, in case Fever Woman isn't aware because she tuned in a little late, animatronics expert. We've got.
So just the fact that they
that's the
happen to
wrong-
be made.
Oh,
All right.
There it is.
yeah. What? Oh, yeah.
Classic. That was me.
And-
We've also got Denny.
And
here.
then me, Dr. Denny Fontune.
A sweet moment of one last moment with my daddy.
Yeah, that basically sums it up. And
made in an undisclosed factory in Taiwan doesn't necessarily mean they're not natural, because that factory in Taiwan is a part of our natural world. Yeah.
that's us. So great. I think we have a audience letter that we're
Yes.
going to read and give some advice on.
Yes, we received mail. It came through the window, much like those bricks. So I'm thinking that's maybe how this works. Okay, so we'll ask you guys as well after this, but we did receive a letter before the show, so we're gonna help this person. It says, "To whom it may concern, my partner and I love each other very much, but recently we've fallen into a bit of a rut. Yeah, I know how that is. We always go out to eat at the same places and do the same boring things every time we have a date night. Do you have any suggestions for activities or dates or anything we can do to spice up our routine and switch up the time we have together so it feels special again? Sincerely, frustrated.
Whoa.
That's
Now that doesn't sound like a real name.
Been there.
so,
Dating advice. Woof.
right? I mean, I've been married for 35 years and I sleep on the couch, so I know a little thing or two about things going stale.
Why don't you start us off then?
Well, I guess here's one thing that I always bring up with my wife that she doesn't want to do, but that would really, in my mind, make things exciting because it's something that's very close to my heart. Is go
Ass
visit-
play?
Huh?
Huh?
What?
Nothing.
What'd you say?
He said ass play.
Like, I don't know. That's something that when I want to do with my lady and she says, you know, she's not into it. But
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I was. That's on the list. I mean, we're like light years back from that. In my,
what were you gonna say?
I was gonna say go to an amusement park. Like,
Yeah.
like the kind of thing that because it's like something that I work at, so it's interesting to me, and it's interesting hopefully to my partner because it's like a day we can spend together. My wife doesn't want to go, but I think that it's probably a good idea for other couples to spend a full day at somewhere special that they're not just sitting in their usual place. And kind of like we pointed out, some people in the chat, Tom, would maybe take their significant other to Universal. Some people go to Disney. Some people go to Legoland. And I take my wife nowhere. She does not want to go. She said she does want to go, actually, but she doesn't want to go with me.
Great.
I hope that helps. Frustrated our listener. I would
What
just
do you
like to
guys
tag
say?
onto that. Well, I just wanted to say we got a couple of thoughts. And Team Russell, we're going to get to your question. You asked, I need some advice. What do you do
Oh,
if
great.
you want to find your dad's killer, but all you have is the serial numbers to the guns that killed him seared into your skin? And I'm sure someone on this panel is probably going to be able to help you out with that. We also had What a Disaster, who says male ass play. And I'll tag on to that. Ass play can be for everybody. It doesn't matter what your gender is. And that's something that I would recommend to our frustrated looker for advice. Try new things. Maybe it's ass play. Maybe it's you cook together. That's something I like to do with my lady friends. Is I'll invite them over.
Lady friends?
I've never been married or had
Don't do it.
a girlfriend or a significant
shame.
other or someone who I can share my life with in an intimate way. But I've been around the block, and so when I have somebody over at my place, I like to get a nice stew going. And I'm throwing beans in there, and I'm throwing hot sauce in there, and I'm throwing Nerds Rope in there, and I'm just cooking up a stew, and it's something that you can do together with a partner, and maybe you stick a finger up someone's ass, and it's just like, we're having fun, we're making dinner. That's what I like to do to get things loose, have some fun in the kitchen, spice things up in more ways than one, So that's what I would tell a friend with the note here. Try to spice things up in ways that are outside the box.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I think any steps you can take to get your significant other touching you and enjoying it, that's great progress.
Yeah. I don't agree with either of your sentiments.
Oh, okay.
I mean,
Well,
that's why we're talking. That's why
hey,
we're at the table, I
That's
guess.
why we're having the meeting of the minds.
Yes.
What do you think, Denny?
So what's
I think the best way to bond with another person is to be in a life or death situation, but the other person doesn't end up dying.
Can you say more?
Yes. Maybe an example would suffice.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay.
what a primary source document, as they say.
Yeah. Yes. Great. Well, I'll let's say you are me.
Yeah.
And you are.
How old am I this time? Am I you now?
You are 17 years old.
I'm Denny Fontune, and I'm 7 years old. 17 years old.
17 years old. And you are Heather Blackship. You are one of the most attractive girls at school. And you said yes to going on a date with me.
All right, give us a soundbite of what she sounds like.
Hi, I'm Heather. What is my last name?
Was it Black?
I'm
Feather?
sorry, it was Black Ship.
Black sheep. Hi.
Do you have an accent?
I don't know. Hello, I'm Heather Black Sheep,
That's enough.
and I'm the most beautiful girl.
Wow.
I'm thinking that sounds pretty
Great,
good.
that sounds great. And you are in a
into it.
Ruby Tuesdays.
Okay,
I love Ruby Tuesdays.
that's why I asked you here.
I will be the
Heather.
waiter.
Okay.
Okay. I guess we're leaving. This looks like our table.
Hi, Denny. It's me, Heather.
I came in from the back, and you came in from the side.
Yes, I love this restaurant. I'm very excited to be on a date with you.
I think I'm in love with you.
Hello,
Oh, hello.
I am the waiter.
I'm Denny Fontune.
And I'm Heather. His beautiful date.
Would you like anything to drink?
It's on me.
Wow.
Water.
Denny, you're such a gentleman. I will have a big bottle of wine.
Oh, I'm 17.
And I am also 17.
Maybe we can make something happen with the waiter, and we could just. He can see
I'm a
we're
cool
love.
waiter. I will get you your wine
Great.
and your water.
I guess we'll just. You're
Great.
you're the prettiest girl in school.
Thank you, Denny. You're so nice.
You seem pretty interested in what I have to offer.
Yes, Denny, please tell me about your hobbies.
Well, it seems like I probably like washing my car, like with a cloth.
Wow, that is so interesting, and
Yeah.
I'm in love with you now, and I love this date, and I'm having a good time. but-
Where? Can I ask a question? I'm Denny Fontune. Where do you come from?
I go to
I've
the same high school as you.
Okay.
Oh, look, here is the waiter.
Oh, the wine.
Hello, waiter.
These are the resources that I was able to find. I found.
Hey, I'm Denny Fontune.
I know. I hope you like Smirnoff Ice.
Ah, perfect. It's close enough. Great. Gulp, gulp.
Great. So this is how it would normally be. And now I am outside of the scene right now. And now I will introduce something that I am suggesting that would make it even more romantically intense than this. For right now, neither of you had had sex with each other or kissed each other's cheeks. So we will start from the top.
Hi, I'm Denny Fontune.
Hello, my name is Heather Black Feather or something, and I am
Black
your
sheep.
beautiful. Right, I'm Heather Black Sheep, And I am your beautiful date, and we are here at the restaurant.
I'm so glad you made it. I'm Denny Fontune, and I'm 17.
Oh.
Hello, I'm the waiter. Would you like anything to drink?
Some water would be nice. I'm Denny Fontune.
Nice to meet you, Denny Fontune.
I would like 1 bottle of wine.
I'm
Great.
underage and also horny.
Whoa.
And I am horny. As well.
Okay. Let me get these drinks for you.
I wonder when one of us is gonna die.
Oh, Danny, you are so romantic with your
Just, like, out of character,
pontifications on
like-
death.
Just like for a second, out of character. Like, isn't the whole point of this that one of us is gonna die?
I'm not really sure.
Oh.
Here are the resources.
Oh,
Water
Denny
and a
Fontune,
bottle of
I'm-
wine.
I'm Denny Fontune.
Would you like to order?
Yes.
Yeah.
Great. I would like to order
Your favorite.
my favorite, the bloomin' onion.
That's the meal?
Great. We have those at Ruby Tuesdays. And you?
For me, just the beef part of a hamburger.
So 1 bloomin' onion and only the beef part of a hamburger, please.
I got it.
Great.
And burn it till it's a hockey puck.
Such great service at this restaurant. I am having such a good time, and I am very horny.
I'm so horny. For me, it's like primary, like it's hard for me to think about much else.
Yes.
Like, you know how in TV and movies, when people are hungry and they look at their friend and they see like a chicken leg, like a turkey leg, because
Yes.
they're so hungry?
Yes. Yes, I know what you mean.
I'm
Hey.
horny.
I'm very excited for our dinner.
Oh.
Oh my God!
Oh,
Oh my God! It's a gun.
I am a
Heather.
beast. A man with no consciousness.
Wait a minute, is this the guy who fucking killed Denny's dad?
what did you say your name was?
I said I am a beast. I have no consciousness. I have no way to talk with people on some sort of forum because the year is 1989
Oh yes.
and there is nothing like that exists.
1989.
Before the internet, and now my life is in danger, and I don't know what I will do if somebody does not save
Now,
me.
Denny, karate chop me on the neck.
Okay. Take this.
Oh, do you take martial arts classes? Because that hurt.
I do. I do.
My poor frail bones.
Wow.
My poor blood is
I did
all
it.
over.
And now I am impressed. And you have saved me, Denny, and now I am very much even more in love with you and more horny than before.
You're an even bigger turkey leg in my mind than you were before, except not
And
turkey
scene.
leg.
You can come up and bow.
That's me as Denny Fontune.
That was me as the waiter.
And I was Heather, black ship.
Hey, that was fun.
Great. So that was a lot of fun. It sounds like hopefully that answered. What question was that again?
It was how to take your relationship to the next level.
That's right. So hopefully that answered some questions for you guys at home about how to spice things up with your loved ones, with your special someone at home. We had a couple of questions from the chat while that was going on.
Maybe let's lighten those out.
Let's see. What do we got?
Let's scroll up
Scroll
here.
back up. This is a question from a while ago. Tom Jean asked, Denny, my dogs and I are very close. I never had dogs as a kid, so my bond with them is unlike any other in the natural world. My question is, what do I do when they die? Now, that is a very real question. Good. Thank you for that question, Tom Jean.
I mean, it's tough. I was really attached to one of the It's like a Scandinavian folk dancer doll, and it's a small world that I'd refurbished a lot of times. Not the same as a dog, but I was pretty attached, and eventually they had to discontinue that doll, and it was hard to get through that.
Yes. I can't imagine the pain you went through.
Yeah, it sucked.
I can compare that to what happened to me when I was 12 years old.
Oh, yeah.
I lost my father. I can just give you the answer to when I lost him is I cried.
Yeah, me too. I definitely cried also in my
screamed,
situation.
and I screamed. And then I blacked out.
So how did you eventually process and get over it, though?
I bought a turtleneck to cover up the serial burn scars in my neck, and I became a scientist and studied and became a doctor and got a $50,000 sponsorship deal with Denny's and created the Denny's chain. So that would be my recommendation for you if you lost your dogs is buy a turtleneck. Cry.
Grieving is, everybody grieves differently. It sounds like both of you guys cried, and there's nothing wrong with that. Crying, if you're at home and you're a guy and you think, I shouldn't cry, everybody cries.
Yeah, I cry at home all the time.
You cry, Paul?
Actually, my body's no longer able to create tears due to a side effect from some of the supplements that I'm eating. So physically, I'm not technically able to produce tears anymore. But the feeling of crying, the sort of emotional state of weeping, I experience that all the time.
Does your body
so it's totally
convulse?
normal. Because I don't have tear ducts, it manifests in other ways. I have this sort of like one really long hair that's growing like out of my lower back. I can't show it to you right now because there's actually a trademark tattoo back there that I got when I was a kid, and I'm not allowed to show it on television. But it's sort of like one.
It's like a rope.
Well, yeah, it's like instead of tears, this
it get
one hair
longer?
just kind of grows, and I clip it every now and then, but it doesn't seem to bother me that much. So now it's just kind of like down to the back of my
That's
knee.
kind of
It's kind of running
kinda
down to the
nice.
back of my pant leg.
You just tuck it into the back of your pants.
Yeah, it's just one, like a mole hair. You ever get a mole hair? It's
I
like
get one
dark
right
and it's like
here.
coarse. Like a dark, coarse hair. It's just kind of like, you try to
It's
clip
kinda-
it, but it's like your shears are kind of like struggling because it's so dark and coarse.
It's like in Hercules when Hades tries to cut the hair lifeline of Hercules, and the scissors kind of bend around the hair. Like,
Yeah,
the metal
it's
just
like-
bends.
Exactly. It's sort of like a godly, transcendent hair that's growing out of my lower back. So, what I'm saying is, anybody can grieve in any way. If you're crying, if you're growing a very long, coarse,
I
dark
just want to
hair
point
out of the
out
back of
something real
your
quick.
body.
Tom is saying that's a small tail. What you're talking about and describing is a very small tail.
Well, that's one way of looking at it. Sure. A tail. Usually, the way I've seen a tail described is you can move it around. And God, I wish I could move this thing around.
So maybe it's like a vestigial tail.
Sure, it's like a vestigial tail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's probably just like one of those vestigials.
So those are all the different ways you could.
I think
How
we
about
have a
that?
question that really someone's champing at the bit to get addressed.
Team Russell, he's asking, I would really like my question about tracking a father's killer down addressed. What part of the question was that there?
Yeah. Which part did you want answered?
And then Fever Woman also asked a little while ago, is this what love feels like? That was during the dating breakdown that we did.
I guess you can't answer that because you guys were playing the roles. So do you feel like that's what love felt like when you escaped the clutches of death together?
I felt something.
Yeah.
I definitely, what is love? It's hard to say.
For me, like the memory of love is sort of on the periphery, like it's fading away at the back of my memory. but it kind of felt like that old spark from long ago.
Oh, here we go. What do you do if you want to find your dad's killer, but all you have is the serial numbers of the guns that killed him seared onto your skin?
So who wants to take that?
I feel like I could probably
think-
tackle
wanna
some of this.
tackle
So
that?
yeah, sure. So I can't speak to it too personally because my dad is still alive.
Nice.
Yeah, he is.
How
Congrats.
tall is he?
How tall is he?
Yeah.
He's probably like 5'7" now. He's shrinking. He's in the part of his life where he's shrinking down.
All right. Anyway, keep going.
But if I had a father who was murdered and the serial number of the guns that were used to murder him were seared into the side of my neck, I'd probably do something like in Memento. You guys have seen Memento, where he like tattoos.
Yes.
Check.
Yeah. So I'd look into the mirror, try to read the serial number that's on my neck. Once I had that, I would probably go call the police and say, "Hey, I'm looking for a gun. Can you help me out? I got these numbers on my neck." And then if they said we can't help you, that'd probably be the end of it. I'd probably just give up right there.
That sounds good. Let's see. I mean, is there anyone? I feel like maybe I could add.
Yeah, we could add some
something.
info.
So it's just the serial numbers you got on your neck, right? And that's all you got to trace the killer?
I
That
think
sound
so,
about
yes.
Right? First of all, depending on how I find, like, I might just wake up with these serial numbers and think, oh, just another wild and crazy night for Barney. I might even just be like, what happened to me? I'll just move on. I guess I got another ill-advised tattoo. But if that's not the case, I probably do a Google is what I do. Because I think that sometimes happens when I get those calls from, like, telemarketers. I get a call from, and I'm like, who is this? So I put in Google, and then it says, that's a number from Utah. And I'm like, what? So if I put if I kind of look in the mirror, yeah, put the serial numbers in and I do a Google, we'll see what comes up.
That's good.
Do Google is a good idea. Yeah.
I could chime in a little bit. If that were to hypothetically happen to me, I would go to the nearest Bath and Body Works, and I would grab a couple candles and take them into the bathroom, pull out some sort of lighter, and melt the hot wax into my neck, into the numbers burned in, and wait for it to dry, and then kind of pop them out like Scrabble letters, but only like, I guess, like alphabet soup. And then it would take me a while to kind of rearrange them because I popped them out individually instead of in like a full completed thing. So I'd probably look at the serial number in my neck while I assembled these wax numbers. And when I figured it out, I would go to all the gun shops in the county, and I would show them the number, and I'd be like, "Do you know this number? Did you sell any guns to this person?" And one guy would be like, "Well, I sold guns under that number to a guy named Beck." And I pull the guy over the counter. I pull him over, and I'm like, hey, listen.
Should we act this
Hey,
out?
listen. No, it's okay.
we're doing
Hey, listen.
What's up?
You got to tell me that guy's address, and you say, "Okay, man, you're very strong."
Okay, man, you're very strong.
And then I get the address, and then I run and I sprint and I run, and it's about 5 miles, but I run all the way, and I find Beck. And I shake him down in your back, and I break it. I'm like, "Beck, did you buy these guns?" And I hold up the serial number, and he says, "I did, but I sold them to someone."
I did, but I sold them to someone.
And then I'm like, "Who did you sell them to?" I feel like you'd know.
Doug.
How would you react in this situation?
I sold them to the man who killed your father.
That is correct. And I would toss you into your bale of hay because I'm from Iowa and everyone lives on a farm, and I'd go and I'd run to the address of the man who killed my father. And that's how I'd find him.
That's one way.
Hypothetically.
That's one way of doing it.
Wow.
I will say that when I looked into your eyes just now, your pupils were so big. It was like an animal.
Thank you.
Well, I hope that answers your question, Team Russell. That's 3 different perspectives, so one of those is probably got to be a little bit helpful.
Do it for
Tom Ajan. Oh.
Bring
food.
Well, I guess
Should we
you
split
know
one,
what
or
you know what
I'll
that means.
Eat another one?
Yeah, I'll take another one.
Time for brain food.
Brain food, the segment that we have to eat these bananas.
I was feeling low on fuel, so.
Yeah, it's good that we're.
And once again, I can't actually eat the bananas because of my dietary restrictions.
Did you bring maybe? You didn't bring anything?
No, I thought about trying to bring some Nerds rope, but it is hard to find those things now for whatever reason. They used to be like in 7-Elevens and stuff, and now I feel like I'm only getting them in bulk on Amazon is the only place I can find a good, ripe Nerds rope.
Is this ASMR?
It could be.
Could be. Let us know at home if this is ASMR.
Is it ASMR? Can you let us know? Okay.
And while that's going on, we'll sneak in one last question from the What's in Your Mind segment before we move on to the next segment. Tom asked earlier, what is the best smell? He wants to know what is the best smell. Experts can't agree that many smells are better than others. So I'll jump in on this while you guys are eating the bananas. In my opinion, the best smell is any smell that makes you feel like you're a winner. You know, so if that means a stinky gym locker, then maybe that's the best smell. Maybe that means you were working hard and you're feeling like a champion. Other people might feel like the best smell is the smell right after you pull out the gas thing at a gas station and it kind of dribbles out, you know, and it gets like on the foot or like maybe on your hand a little bit and you get back in the car.
I always smell that.
Yeah, and you get a good whiff of that.
Yeah.
And you do like maybe just kind of get a little like a whiff. Yeah. And maybe that's the best smell for you.
Yeah, and you hold it in.
And you hold it in.
I remember they always tell you to waft in chemistry class. Waft a smell.
Get a good waft in there, yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see.
What about you guys? Favorite smells? Best smells?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Fresh bullets. But yeah, you go ahead.
I was gonna say I like the smell of a beach body.
That's good too.
You know, like in the summer, when you're when you and your family go to like a Holiday Inn, and there's like just 3 to 8 families all crowding into the pool doing cannonballs, and you're there with your sons, and it's like 9 years ago, and it's like happy. And everyone's covered in sunscreen, and you've got your big Powerade in each hand because you know you're gonna be swimming a lot today.
Double fisting.
And that smells so good to me.
It's a very nice image you painted, Barney. Well, great. Well, I guess that concludes. What's in your mind?
Yeah.
Yeah. Great job.
Ooh. Ah.
Great. This one, it said in the email, didn't have a bumper because a lot of bumpers needed to get made. This is called a brain brawl.
This is, I think, kind of, they said to break up. We've all been sitting for a little bit. Let's get the blood flowing.
Get the blood flowing.
So maybe we should stretch real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're gonna stretch.
splash.
Splish splash. There was not that much left in there because I was coughing so bad.
That's fine.
Okay.
Okay.
Feeling
I feel better.
good.
Yeah. I feel great.
So now I think we need some help from the chat.
We do.
Now that we're limbered up, you know those age-old debates. You know them. Cat versus dog. Who came first, chicken or the egg?
Yes.
I don't
Boxers
know.
or briefs.
Boxers or briefs. You know, the first president versus the second president when they had a presidential race, and then all the other ones after that.
Yeah.
So those kind of things. We're gonna settle one of them for you today because we got 3 different minds here, 3 experts with different perspectives, and we figure why not put an end to one of those age-old debates? Close the book.
Yes. And we'll be using a physical game to decide and debate who's the winner. So please, chat, can you suggest a classic this or that issue?
And we're gonna brawl it out for you.
Subject for debate. Give us a subject to debate, and we will debate it live for you.
Yep. In a physical contest of sorts. Because these aren't just any old debates. They gotta be settled physically and mentally.
Great. Jesus or no Jesus?
Great. This is a classic one.
Classic debate.
So we gotta find 2 opposing opinions.
What is your opinion?
Personally, I think Jesus, but like funny Jesus. You know?
Can you elaborate on that?
Like, there's a Jesus. Like, I went to all the, like, I did stuff when I was a kid. I went to church a little bit with my parents. I don't go now, but also, like, there's some funny stuff going on in the world. Like, there's some pretty, I feel like there's some practical Joker energy in Jesus if he's up there. Like, he's not taking it seriously.
Okay.
Silly Jesus.
I say yes, Jesus. Full on Jesus.
Okay.
Yes.
And my opinion, unfortunately, is no Jesus.
Oh.
I actually did a ton of research at this when I was in the Bush administration. And
In what
let's just
capacity?
say, well, you know, there's a lot of classified documents in the White House, and let's just say some of those documents, if they were to be unclassified, would disprove a lot of faith-based beliefs of not just people who believe in Jesus, but people who believe in even a 3-dimensional universe.
Which Bush administration?
The first one,
Okay.
HW. So I am personally a non-believer. I believe only in myself, and that the rest of the existence, at best, is a simulation, and at worst, is some sort of continual nightmare that is happening only to me.
All right, well, it sounds like you 2 are most diametrically opposed, and
Okay.
I'm sort of a happy medium. So if you want, we can move around, and I can kind of moderate this
Great.
battle of wits and arms, as it were. So we're gonna settle this old school. It's gonna be an old-fashioned arm wrestle for Jesus or no Jesus. and I'm going to be in the middle. I think Jesus, but I have a sense of humor about it. He's sort of like a fun absentee parent. Fun uncle. Here we go. All right. Now, they didn't give us much more instruction on this, but I'm going to count you off. It'll be 1, 2, 3, brain brawl, and that's when you will...
Keep my shoulder off? Is that proper form? Do you keep it?
I think that looks great. And yeah, so when I say go, feel the energy course through you, and do we want to determine who gives their point first?
You can go first, Paul.
Okay, I'll go first.
Okay, so ready. 1, 2, 3, brain brawl.
Okay, so part of the reason that I don't believe that there's any God or Jesus specifically is that things have been going really bad for me personally, even though for a long time I've been praying to all kinds of different deities, and for some reason I've never personally experienced any sort of reward for what I perceive to be as good deeds on my part by sharing the information of the food that could got in my nutritional ideas.
Okay, so why would God let this happen if he existed, sort of?
Yes, why does he let these things happen to me?
All right. It's in the chat. Sound off if you feel like that was a salient point. What do we got, Denny?
When the heat of the guns were seared into my neck, a flash of light happened, and I went to a different place. I went to an all-white place, a very clean place.
Like a different
in the
room?
Clouds.
Oh, in the clouds.
And a man with a big beard. He came out of the gates, and he said, "Hello, I think you're looking for this person." And then a woman walked out, and she said, "Hello, I'm God."
This is great. Whoa! Whoa!
And the bearded man said, I am Jesus, God's pool boy." And I said, "Wow, nice to meet you both." And then they said, "It's time to go home." And then I flashed back, and I was passed out in the alleyway where my father was.
All right, a lot of revelations there. We have a personal sort of message from God experience from Denny, which has given him faith. And to anyone who listened to that story and thought God was the bearded man, you are not, as my son would say, woke, I guess. And I mean, count me in too, because it was a plot twist for me. All right, we had someone say, interesting that Denny prefers rooms and spaces that are all white. Someone was complaining about heathens. Chat, who do we think had a salient point? Because they seem to be locked in a dead weight right now. Do we have any counterpoints we want to give? Are we all debated out?
I think what the chat says, that will definitely determine this heated battle.
Team Russell says whoever is stronger is right.
Well, how do you explain platypuses, huh?
Okay.
Only Jesus could make that.
No, I actually knew a guy when I was working for Bush who had created something that sort of looked like a platypus. It only survived for a few days, and it could only survive by eating Hostess products. But
and that it looks like our man. What do you have to say? No Jesus. Wow.
No Jesus. No Jesus.
I will concede. There is no Jesus.
It's good. Good game.
Wow. Honestly, I could have gone either way going in. This is a big deal. And now I guess I don't believe in Jesus. So, congratulations.
I'm glad we could get that settled.
That was a brain brawl. So that's
Wow.
settled forever now. You can tell your friends. I'm going to go get the bananas.
Yes, that's important.
Okay. Woo. Wow.
Great. Another win for the Bush administration, says Team Russell.
Yeah, he's really not that bad if you actually if you get to know him. He's people have different opinions about him, but He paid my bills. Put food on the table. So.
Did he ever actually make you food? Like he made you food?
Oh God, no.
Oh.
God, no. Never.
Well, yeah, I see some other suggestions for debates, and please, in the future, if you want to suggest a debate for Brain Brawl, keep these ideas in mind, and maybe they'll get chosen.
That was nuts. That was like watching my two out of my 3 sons go at it.
Yeah.
Housing, except instead of arguing over who gets to play next on Mario Kart, it was, is Jesus real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. So I think that concludes Brain Brawl and leads into our next segment.
Wow. Okay. Breaking news. Read all about it.
Oh. You haven't even been eating anything.
Oh yeah. I guess the beans are coming back up from earlier before the show.
How's that tail doing?
Oh. Still attached.
Great. Okay, so breaking news.
Yeah, I believe this is a segment where we look over current events and we discuss them and we talk about them. So chat, if you have any thing in the news that you've been thinking about or reading about, please shout it out. We'll be looking up some articles here on the old computer and pick a current event to discuss on breaking news. Great. We're gonna look up some
hot off the press information.
Okay.
Okay, here's an article. It says a group with consumer-friendly vibe pushes drug makers' message. As Congress and the Trump administration aim to curb spiraling drug costs, outside groups like the Alliance for Patient Access are raising their voice as they seek to sway the outcome. And it's got a photograph of, looks like some pills, maybe some supplements. Interesting. Okay.
It's friendly vibe.
So I don't really keep a finger on the pulse of politics ever since I left the Bush administration.
It seems like you really did have a finger on the pulse.
Yeah, you know,
like in a big way.
When you're in the game for that long, when you finish, the last thing you want to do is go back to the trough, so to speak. So I kind of keep my head out of politics and focus on nutrition. But when things like this happen with drug companies, I'm paying attention, and so. Personally, I'm pro-drug. Any kind of drug that's out there, they're making it for a reason. If someone's taking a drug, it means that they need it, right?
Yeah.
Drugs are helpful. They make you smarter. They make you feel good. They make you go to sleep or wake up. If companies try to make drugs more consumer-friendly, great. I love it because I'm a consumer and I'm consuming drugs.
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm mostly on board with that. Like, if someone needs help, like, personally, I like kind of just, I'm a simple guy. Like, when my stomach hurts, I like guzzle some Pepto, and like, when I got a fever or whatever, I take a little Advil maybe. But besides that, maybe I should keep up more with the doctor's visits, but I don't like get involved in like too many other prescriptions, so I guess I can't really speak to like other complicated prescriptions. But as long as like these guys are not going to make Pepto-Bismol prices go up or anything, like Pepto's easy to get, insulin's easy to get, all of it should just be easy to get, especially Pepto-Bismol.
Oh yeah, and insulin, is tough to come by sometimes. If you don't have a connection. Like luckily I've got a guy because
sort of like Hollywood.
My doctor would not give me insulin. I would ask him all the time, let me get some insulin. just to try it, just to feel, what it's like. And I end up having to go to a guy who shall not be named here, but let's just say
Voldemort? Is it Voldemort?
No. It's a man that I know who works at a sandwich shop kind of near my home, and he's got the hookup for insulin, and that's where I've been getting my insulin. So you got to ask around. If your doctor's not giving you the drugs that you need, that shouldn't be, as an American, you should have the free right to go and find the drugs that you need elsewhere.
Yeah, that's probably one of those rights we have, pursuit of happiness.
That is a right.
And Fever Woman's son, I wish I could spare you. If you want to private message the show, I can give you my guy's name. He might be able to hook you up if you live in sort of the greater Los Angeles area.
And you got any thoughts on this?
I think pills are too big.
Okay.
Oh,
Okay.
That's a gripe I have. So
putting his
if
thumb on the scale there.
if any drug company is willing to make smaller pills that can get a smaller, maybe fit in spaces that normal pills wouldn't be able to fit in.
Like what?
Can you just throw up like what size pills are normal that you think are too big? Like, can you give us a yay big? Okay.
This would be length. This would be width.
So that's a
Okay.
pretty big pill.
That's pretty big.
I could see why you would want those to be smaller.
Yeah, or even like I guess that would be the biggest. Like
Okay.
I was like I couldn't take
that's-
any
that's the
pill
biggest size.
larger than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then the range that I think would be like the smallest amount of big, to where it's like once they cross that threshold, it would be small enough. Would be this length and this width.
And
That's
for those of
really
you at home, it's
small.
very
That's
small
so
if you can't
small.
see.
It's like
It's a very tiny pill.
it's like a little
this
grain
length.
of rice, more like.
And this width.
It's like when you have rice. That's what it is.
Yes, and then once they're smaller than that threshold, you can just like pop open your lower cap of your eye and just drop it into your
Whoa.
eyelid, and it would be able to disintegrate that way. Because that, of course, is the easiest way to take any pill.
That
Is
feels like something you see in like a Star Trek
eyelid. Put it down,
episode.
roll it around in your eyes like a contact.
Oh my
Mm.
goodness! Whoa.
An optical pill.
Yeah.
Does that work? Have you taken a pill like that?
I usually have to break them down into smaller pieces
break it
before I can
down.
take it because they are far too big.
Like
I
a
have-
powder almost, and you can sprinkle it in your eyeball.
Almost, but you don't want too many grains. That's why it's important that there's
Wow.
like as little amount of pieces as possible because you don't want to scratch a cornea.
Okay, wait. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a doctor, so like maybe this is wrong, but like if you're taking like Advil or something, you're putting it close to your eye, does it like work better cuz you're taking it closer to your head?
Yes. That's correct.
Wow. And I was just spitballing. I'm not a doctor. I just thought of that.
Yeah, most of my research when doing the Denny's chain involved amplifying my bodily abilities in order to work as fast as possible. So I came up with different methods, different drugs to take in order to make me unstoppable and as focused as possible.
Okay, wow.
So drugs work is what I'm hearing. That sort of aligns with my views on drugs and supplements. You just got to find the mixture that works for you. And I did want to address in the chat, Fever Woman had a current event that she wanted us to discuss. QAnon had a 21-day countdown. I believe the countdown started like 17 or 18 days ago, maybe even more. We're coming up on the day that QAnon, famed Trump deep state conspiracy theorist leader. Are you guys familiar with QAnon?
No.
I must be
Okay,
too
so
old
I'm
for this.
big into QAnon.
Okay.
This is kind of like, all right, and for you viewers at home who aren't familiar with QAnon, go on 8chan right now. You can't find it on Google, but ask your friend who has a shaved head and a lot of leather clothes what's going on.
I don't have one of those.
But QAnon basically is this,
I feel
they
old.
say it's a conspiracy theory, but what it really is an organization, a coalition of people who believe that Donald Trump is sort of a figurehead leading a movement called The Storm, which is taking down a group of Democrat and globalist conspiracists who are running a sort of a child pedophilia ring.
Okay.
And this
Is that pizza thing?
Pizzagate, yes. So basically, the QAnon countdown is saying that in a couple of days, some big event.
Phase 1 is coming?
Yeah, the big event is coming. So, and I am ready for it.
Okay. So let me see if I got this straight. So there's a countdown for this group, but they've not said anything. They've not given any further context at what happens when the number gets
Well, Q is very cryptic, okay? He speaks in code.
Is it a he? Or is it a person or it's a team, a group?
QAnon, it's hard to say. I think it's an individual. But they're anonymous. That's why their name is QAnon and not like Q Devin or like Q Michael Jordan.
Okay.
I was thinking it was like a Nazi, the spider.
No, but that is an interesting guess. I thought that for a little while too.
I thought that too.
But it's actually Q Anonymous. But yes, he or she is
Nice job.
releasing cryptic sort of messages alluding to some sort of big event that will be happening at the end of this countdown.
And theoretically, is Mr. Trump involved? Like he's involved in all this?
Oh, he is the mastermind
ringleader?
and the good guys.
The master of ceremonies.
He's the good guys. He's putting all the Pizzagators into the jail. So hopefully, big day coming. We're very excited about that. Tom says the only Pizzagate I believe in is in showing up to Papa John's before hours.
Damn straight, Tom. You and me should hang.
Would that mean that the line outside of the Papa John's is forming some sort of gate?
Well,
pizza, is that what you referred to? Pizza
well, like
gate?
It's gated off, and that's why you can't
Like-
get in.
Oh.
Like they're rattling. Like let us in.
Let us
early.
get the pizza.
Yeah.
Like I guess normally you probably wouldn't have a big gate in front of a Papa John's.
Depends on how popular the Papa John's is.
Team Russell says, "Oh man, fascinating stuff online about this. I think what's coolest about this is that the people are telling me about it will be my friend just for believing what they do."
And that is kind of a big sell.
Absolutely, yeah. Affirmation is crucial. You just want to feel good. It doesn't matter necessarily, like what is a fact, what is reality, what is good, what is evil. As long as what you're being told and believing makes you feel good and feel righteous, do it.
That's what I feel as well. I feel like we get hung up a lot on figuring out what facts are, and just come on, feel good. Put some pills in your eyes, and
in this
go
day
to
and
town.
age, who has time to figure out, is the Earth round? Is it flat? Is the country being controlled by a cabal of globalist conspirators organizing some sort of child pedophilia ring or not? It's honestly a coin flip. So you got to just go with the gut. Put some pills in your eyeballs and see the truth.
Now, I'm a pretty laid-back guy, and I'm not a doctor, and I'm not a politician, but I am an engineer, so I gotta come in here a little bit contrary to you guys and say, like, boy, do I ever love feeling good. But as an engineer, I do look for facts, and I look for logic, and I look for formulas, so to be honest, I don't know much about this QAnon guy. I did think it was a Nazi, the spider, which I believe is a legend, for a while, so that was throwing me way off, but personally, I'm probably gonna do a big Google of this later. I don't feel that qualified to necessarily speak to the truth of it at this moment. But there's a lot of things that I'm hearing that are like a little confusing, could use some clarification. I don't know if I'm fully on board with this guy and the pizza gate theory yet.
I agree with you that robots need facts in order to run. You need to follow certain rules.
And see, look at us. Crossing aisles and sharing our opinions without getting mad about it. So I think I will, and I encourage everyone listening to do a big old Google of it and see, after you've Googled both the pros and the cons of each side, then you kind of see where you come out. And we'll see. I'll have to look into this more. But I think we all can say we're excited for when the countdown comes to a 0, because who's not excited?
I love
things
a
coming.
countdown.
I love
going
it.
to 0.
I think we can all agree.
Any
Except
kind
for
of countdown.
except for an explosive device.
Okay, yeah. But I mean, sometimes that's fun too. Like,
But it's fun, like if it's like Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
And you're like so nervous for
And then
Tom Cruise.
but then he comes through in the end.
Yeah, those kind of bomb countdowns are fun. So I guess certain types of.
Those are usually fictional though. So I would say if in a real situation, a bomb countdown is a little scary.
I'm sure that bomb defusers get kind of a rush.
Oh yeah.
Ah,
So
So any kind of countdown.
and they
can
wouldn't
be
have a job. They
I
wouldn't have a
like,
job if there weren't bombs
That's
to
true.
defuse. So those
Sometimes-
countdowns are good because it gives
Bombs are good.
jobs.
jo-
Bombs give
are
jobs.
job creators.
Bombs give jobs.
Yes.
Yeah. I also like New Year's Eve countdowns because of the kiss.
Oh.
Mm.
Uh huh.
There's always a kiss,
Usually
whether someone likes it or not.
there's a kiss. There's gonna be a kiss.
There's gonna be, when you show up to a New Year's party.
Oh, a
like,
kiss is coming.
Watch your back. Look both ways before crossing the street because you're heading to a kiss. I also do like the Netflix countdown
Oh,
the next
now there's a
episode?
countdown
Yeah.
that I can get on board with.
because it's like coming up next.
Another episode of The Ranch with Ashton Kutcher.
I love that
my
show.
God, I
You
love
guys
that
like The
show.
I
Ranch?
love that show.
I-
Wow.
And if you
The
at
Ranch,
home
yeah.
love The Ranch, please comment your favorite moments from Netflix's The Ranch with Ashton Kutcher.
My favorite is the actress.
We're big ranch heads.
The actress Molly McCook, who appears in a secondary role in The Ranch, who also appears on Last Man Standing with Tim Allen.
Okay, yeah.
Big ranch head over here from Team Russell.
Team Russell's a big ranch head. That's great. Countdown to Crystal, says Tom. Team Russell said, I heard ass play in the news.
What else do we like on Netflix?
It's probably when Ashton looks at the other guys like, come on, man. Classic, so classic.
I like Making a Murderer on Netflix.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What's his face? Tim Avery or whatever? Is that his name? I didn't get all the way through because I was like so sad. But it's good.
Yeah, I cried and screamed and blacked out like I usually do when perfect things happen.
That's empathy right there. That's a guy with lots of empathy.
Yeah.
I also like Top Gear. I think that maybe not. It used to be on Netflix. I don't know if it still is.
Great. Well, that's
What a great segment.
another segment of breaking news.
Wow, that was pretty good.
That was good stuff.
Well.
Wow.
I think it's I think it's time to wrap it up.
Yeah, my brain is feeling stimulated. From
Absolutely.
All this
Brain food.
Wow.
Oh,
Brain
I
food.
wasn't expecting this a third time.
Just when you thought.
Brain food. And it's still somewhere. Brain food.
And it's still going.
Brain
Do
food.
they really want us to eat this?
And it's time to eat a third
Do you
full
think
banana.
maybe you could?
Well, it's late. I can maybe cheat on the decagon and
Do you ever cheat?
oh,
Sorry, you pick.
I'll take this banana. I don't usually cheat, but well, cheers to this. This is gonna be way worse coming out than going in, but I'll do it for you guys.
Okay. Cheers.
Cheers.
And away we go.
3.
Team Russell says WWG, 1WGA, everyone.
Right, and that's a QAnon thing, and that's like sort of a call to action in a way, I think. So if you're reading that and you're not,
So what does it? It must stand for something.
yeah, and it does, and I'm sure if Fever Woman or Team Russell can remind me what it stands for, but it's sort of like
Hold on. Is this ASMR?
with one we go all, or something like that. I don't know. It's kind of like something that you might hear like a militia say.
Was that it?
Yeah, where we go, when we go.
Yeah,
That
that's
sounds
it.
like a militia.
Yeah, it's like a thing that you might say if you were
you
going
wanna
to go
travel in
like
a group.
attack someone or
Yeah,
like.
if you
With
travel in
one
a
we
group, you want to all go in the same. If you want to stay in a group, you want to all go.
Yeah, it's sort of like when you got like one of those big families at Disney and you're all wearing the shirts.
Mm-hmm.
That maybe it'll say that
Yeah.
on there. Like with one we go and all.
Yeah, they'll
all
probably
for
get shirts,
one.
right?
Oh yeah,
They're gonna get
definitely.
shirts.
Yeah, the shirts are the main part of it, I would say.
Mhm. Okay.
Cool. So if you guys have any last thoughts, this is sort of the end of the episode where we cover anything that you feel we didn't address in enough detail, or if you have any remaining questions.
We had a lot of bananas.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still going. Hold on. Is this ASMR? Num num num. I'm trying to get the hang of what ASMR is. I think maybe I can make money on it.
Tom asks, what would your last words be?
Ooh.
Well, I can tell you mine. Technically, due to some contractual obligations, my last words will have to be going further with Sprint Wireless, which is not technically their slogan now, but they're anticipating making a branding shift. That's something that I signed back when I was 18 or 19 years old. They told me, they would pay me $500 if on my deathbed I said going further with Sprint Wireless.
Well, what are you gonna use it for?
And they've already given you the money?
No, they said that they would pay me once I said the line.
So you
So,
see how that's a problem, right?
well, I could still live after I say my last words. I just have to not say anything again after that and then
Okay.
die.
So there's probably gonna come a time where you're like weighing your options and you're like, I could use $500. Say like, how long's the rest of my life gonna go, and do I need to say more words?
Right, exactly.
Yeah, you got to weigh the opportunity cost of the two of those things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I'm not an economist, so
I'm not a doctor.
it's gonna be tough. But those will be my last words due to a contractual obligation going further with Sprint Wireless, which I'm now realizing that I've said for free a few times right now. So I'm gonna stop saying that and try to hold on to what little leverage I have left on that deal.
Well, I kind of know what I would say too, because if you saw me on the show last time, I mentioned that my favorite band was Rascal Flatts,
Yeah.
and so I tend to use their lyrics at a lot of junctions in my life. So I think what would be fun for my grave is if on there it said, "Life is a highway, and I'm gonna ride it to my grave," and I would.
You're going to say that whole thing?
Yeah,
gonna,
like with
sing it?
I think it would be like a little music note before, and then life is a highway, and everyone like every time they come read it, they come and they like my whole family would come and they'd sing it and they'd sway like I'm gonna ride it to my grave.
Can we all
And
be your family?
Yeah, and hold on, and all that's in a speech bubble, and then there's a
Oh.
little cartoon of me because it's I'm gonna ride it to my grave, so it's not like they're saying I'm gonna ride it to my grave. It's me from in the grave, and the speech bubble will just point kind of down.
Oh.
So
So you're in a
okay.
comic?
Well, it's on my headstone.
Oh.
So your last words are
On your
On your
headstone.
headstone.
But it's in like
I was thinking of like an epitaph. Okay.
Oh. No, keep going with this. I can see where.
No,
could
but
also,
I
like-
think,
speed
that,
now.
I think that's
Since
I
you're
think
an
it stands.
animatronics expert, you could maybe even make your headstone like animatronic and like
Yeah.
program it to like
I
sing
should-
or something when someone walks in front of it.
I should get
Yeah.
to work on that now, but I still think it does stand. So I would definitely gonna do that. Definitely doing
So
that.
like if I walk up to your
Yeah, I can-
headstone,
hold
it
on.
triggers
Yeah.
some sort of okay,
so, like,
yeah.
I'm the headstone.
Yeah.
I'm buried right here, but I'm my headstone.
Yeah.
And I'm walking up and I'm grieving, I'm so sad.
Life is a highway.
I'm gonna ride it to
to
my
my
grave.
And I'm the grave digger who is contractually obligated to join in song and walk up like a kind of Disneyland employee. And then I think you should hug, like the animatronic should hug the person grieving.
Oh, like it offers kind of a
Like it's
emotional
okay.
support.
with like just
Okay,
enough
so-
pressure.
Just enough?
Yeah.
Sort of like a gravity blanket. So it's life is a highway.
Hey,
I'm
gonna
ride
it to my grave.
Come here.
If you need any if any of your family members or friends have recently passed, hire me. I dig graves.
And I think I now make animatronic gravestones.
And Hercules says,
I was still on the scene. I was the gravedigger still.
Oh.
Yeah. Has the scene ended?
yeah, I
And
think,
scene,
and
and
scene.
Did you
and
want to
scene.
say that Hercules line in
In character?
character, or was that out of?
That was out of
Okay.
character. Okay, so now, time out. We're no longer in the scene. The scene is over. And I'm reading a comment from commenter Hercules. They say people would steal that technology from grave sites. It will probably have some kind of value. So that's a good point. Maybe you should weaponize it in some way so that it's able to defend itself.
Yeah, I was thinking for sure at least like a security system or kind of drilling it in the ground and having like an alarm.
Mhm.
I don't know. What
Maybe like
kind
a turret or like some sharp glass around it.
Wow. But then
Yeah.
that makes it hard for it to hug somebody and offer comfort.
That's a good point. True.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd have to have like some sort of fingerprint
I think-
scanner that like you wouldn't get shot at if you knew.
Yeah. Or like
you could
a
like
voice
scan it and
kind
then it'd
of.
start.
Yeah.
But I guess if someone like I didn't know who admired my work wanted to come and pay respect, maybe there could be some sort of like voice recognizer where it determines the moral compass of the person speaking.
That seems like basic technology that you could use.
Yeah, I think that I could whip that up.
Yeah.
So we're gonna try to work on some technology that's able to determine the morality of a
The
person
speaker.
Based on their voice.
based on their
Just
voice.
kind of judge their intentions.
Yeah, my last words would be thank you. Here is your $50.
That's great.
That I would then give to the father of the man who killed my father.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Do you anticipate him coming to your deathbed?
He will be the one who kills me.
Have you kept up like a rapport with that guy? Like do you know him or?
Yes, we have a very interesting but close relationship.
Cool.
Yikes.
Like barbecues?
And just to specify, this is the father of the
Father,
man who
killed your
my,
father.
my father. This
Like-
is not the man who killed my father. This is his father.
What happened to Heather Black ship?
She went to U of A.
Oh, Roll Tide.
And
right?
No, it's
no, he was
University of
buried-
Arizona.
buried
You're
down.
thinking of
I
Alabama.
just knew it was
I
an
think,
A.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It
No,
was,
that's right, because of
Wildcats.
Alabama Hannah
Wildcats.
Wildcats is
Yeah.
on
the
the
Yeah,
on the Bachelor.
They got a good basketball team down there.
they do. Yeah.
I don't know a lot about basketball.
Well, this has been a really exciting episode. We covered a lot of ground here. I mean, just to flash back, we've eaten almost a dozen bananas. We did some icebreakers where we learned truths and lies about each other. We opened up our minds and gave some great advice to some people at home about dating and about how to find your father's killer. What else did we do? We did the brain brawl, where we had a debate about whether or not Jesus was real.
Reminder, Jesus is not real.
Not
Right,
real.
we-
Yeah, sorry.
We
That's-
did confirm with the arm wrestle that Jesus is not real, so you can tell your family about that next time you go home for Thanksgiving or whatever. And we did breaking news, Brain
Yeah.
King news, where we talked about
Pepto-Bismol?
Pepto-Bismol, the
talk about-
American pharmaceutical trade.
Yep.
Taking pills through your eyes, which
Yep.
now I'm gonna try. I know I'm gonna try.
Yeah, it's very efficient. We talked
QAnon.
about QAnon.
We got
which is
deep
now
into
the
QAnon.
Nazi, the Nazis.
Anansi the spider.
Anansi the Spider.
So a lot of ground covered.
And
and
I
then-
think, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we made plans to go to Disneyland together one day.
Oh,
We did.
I'm still technically banned from Disneyland. But if that changes, I am in it to win it.
You'll go to Wet Mountain with me.
Absolutely. As soon as that band is
gonna get
lifted,
wet.
I am on Wet Mountain.
Mm-hmm.
And I like know all the guys, so we can sit in the front of the flume. Is that what it's called?
Yes.
The log thing? Log?
The water slide. The water spout.
Yeah.
The spout. Great. Well, I think
Well, with that,
it's time
I
to
think it's time for bed.
go to sleep.
Oh, I am tired. Well, thank
been-
you guys
it's
for
been great.
joining us. This has been Picking Brains.
It's about that
And
time.
now it's time for bed.
Is there a lullaby or something you guys want to do to kind of?
I prefer silence.
Okay. Okay. There's a lot of blanket here we can share.
So you get a pillow.
Oh, yeah.
Do you guys prefer lights on or off?
Lights off.
Lights off. I used to have a little night light that was shaped like cheese. I didn't pick it.
Good night, everybody.
Night.
Good night. Good night, Paul. Good night, Barney.
Good night, Denny. Good night, Barney.
Oh, good night, you two.
Good night.
And,
Good night, chat. Good night,
good night,
Fever
Chat.
Woman.
And
Good
if-
night, Team Russell. Good night, What a Disaster.
Good night, Tom.
Good night. If my kids are watching, good night, Jimmy Timmy Walters. Good night, Timmy Ralph Walters. And good night, Ralph Jimmy Walters.
And good night, new viewer Herculesi. Thanks for joining us. Thank you.
And remember, life is a
Highway.
highway.
I'm gonna ride it to my grave. Well, all right, guys. Thanks for coming by for another episode of Picking Brains. Join us next week for a brand new episode of the Everything Now original show. Yeah, we'll have some great guests. Our topic is monsters, so please stop by and learn something new about monsters. Thank you so much. We really appreciate all of you coming by, and we hope you enjoyed and your skull is full of knowledge. All right. Bye.